everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk about Black History Month. The month that is a celebration of my people, because I am a black man and everything. And it's about all our accomplishments, all the oppression that we have gone through over like centuries of living in like America and stuff like that. And even till this day, we are still being oppressed. And so I'm here today to talk to you about certain characters or TV shows or episodes that revolve around Black History Month that I personally enjoy. So I'm here today to talk to you about Malcolm and Eddie Season 1, Episode 1, The Pilot. I love Malcolm and Eddie. It was one of my all-time favorite shows on UPN. See, Malcolm and Eddie is a predominantly black sitcom, and it came out 1 year after UPN launched. It came out in 1996, and it lasted until 2000. I was in high school around that time. See, UPN, when they first started, just like with many networks, they had predominantly white shows. Lots of sitcoms, drama, sci-fi, action. All of them tanked. When UPN first launched, I was like, whoa, a brand new network. I gotta watch everything that's on it. So I watched a lot of stuff on it. There was a lot of bad stuff, but there was some good stuff too. And so one of the things that put UPN on the map was Malcolm and Eddie, Moesha, and Star Trek Voyager. And so UPN realized something. They like, we have a strong black audience and everything because of Malcolm and Eddie and Moesha. So they ran with it. And then came black sitcom after black sitcom after black sitcom. And so like, even Chris Rock has stated that like UPN was one of his favorite networks because they gave the black person the opportunity to bring their shows there on a free network as opposed to being a cable station that way you have to pay on like say BET. And so it's really weird because this is like one of the most popular shows ever, yet you cannot find it on streaming whatsoever. Like, I think it's on Stars, I think it is, but you have to pay for that. And ironically, it's no longer on Hulu. It's no longer on the Roku app. And the Roku channel app, that's free. Of course, Hulu you have to pay, but it's off both of those and stuff. And it used to be on Sling, but it's not even on there no more. And it's never been on Netflix. In fact, it took about a whole decade and a half for Netflix to finally even show Moesha and Sister Sister. So yeah. And a lot of these black sitcoms, like Malcolm and Eddie, Fresh Prince, Martin, hanging with Mr. Cooper and stuff, like, it's really hard to find them in certain places. And they're on certain apps that you wouldn't even expect for them to be on and stuff. So I don't understand why they get no love on the streaming sites when they were very popular and had high ratings and stuff. And so, yeah. Now, just like with any other sitcom that I've watched or any other show, I tend to get phased out. After a good while, I phase completely out. And that's kind of what happened with Malcolm and Eddie. I started phasing out sometime around the third season. And what I didn't even know is that the character Tim, he left after sometime in the third season. And this new character was created, Christopher Daniel Barnes. The voice of Spider-Man from Spider-Man the Animated Series. I couldn't believe that. And so, but when it comes to shows, one reason why I phase out of them is because, I don't like when they give character development to characters in sitcoms. It makes no sense to me. If it's an action, drama, sci-fi, whatever, that's fine. Much character development there. But when it comes to a sitcom, I expect for them to stay the way they were from the beginning of the show towards the end. Once they start changing, then I get kind of irritated. And also when characters start to leave the show halfway in between, then I start to phase out too because the people I like are now gone. And there was a couple of characters that I did like that are gone. I think one character name was Holly. She worked at a bar called Kelly's and stuff. And she left halfway before the series was over with. and she was played by Angela Brooks. And I always loved Angela Brooks when she was in VIP. Like her voice is just like something else, you know. Like I think she's from like South Florida, I think. So she's black and mixed with something else, probably Puerto Rican or Cuban or something like that. And so the thing about Malcolm and Eddie that was so special and unique is that they had this great chemistry, this great like brotherly love and stuff. You know, they was never related. Like, cause it stars Malcolm Jamal Warner from a show he's best known, I shall not name because of his last name, associated with a certain disgraced actor. I'm not even gonna go there. I don't even want to think about that dude. But yeah, he came from that show. And then there is Eddie Griffin, a person I never even heard of until this show was created. Eddie did more stand-up type stuff. He's been in a slew of stuff. Malcolm has been in a slew of stuff. But this is the show, like even in other, well, bye. Even though Malcolm was known for the other show, he's mostly now recognized for this show. And these two, their personalities were so completely polar opposite, which made the show great. You had the straight-laced man and like the goofy, silly man. But what made it even more special was that this show had a way of showing you not just one type of black personality, which ones or type of shows like to do. It showed you a variety of black personalities amongst its cast. Cause like you know how like people there's stereotypes all the way, and people always assume, oh, because of this stereotype all black people must be like that. Oh, like all black people must not know how to swim, must love eating chicken, must love drinking Kool-Aid. I'm all three of those stereotypes. But here's the thing. I said this before on my channel. Stereotypes, although they are bad, stereotypes are based on actual fact. But not every single last person is like that. I love my chicken. I love my Kool-Aid. And I will not swim in a big body of ocean. I will get in the kiddie section, and that's about it. Something where I can stand up. I don't swim. I don't bungee jump. I don't do extreme sports. I don't like jump out of airplanes. I don't do none of that stuff. But I do go to the beach. And when I go to the beach, I wear beach clothes. Which is something I've noticed black folks don't do. They always dress in their regular clothes. They always be black clothes. It's like, ain't you burning up? Anyway, but like with this show and their personalities, like I said before, the different types of black personalities, it was really cool and unique to see that and see them bounce off one another. Because the thing about both Malcolm and Eddie, the type of personality they have, in real life, they probably would never have hung out. And if they were, it was only because they're family. And if they were, they will keep them at arm's length. Because these two type of personalities really don't vibe that well together in society. We've seen that so many times before. Doesn't matter what type of race you are and stuff. And because see, Eddie, he had more of like this urban, like ghetto vibe to him. He was like very slick when he talked. He was a class clown. He used certain type of like ghetto slang terms. I'm trying to think what else. Like he had his very like out there like personality, very rooted. You know what I'm saying? He was pretty loud and everything, which was something black people always get accused of. I did one time, and so I'm like, I ain't loud. And then I started talking in a low voice, and they'd be like, well, we can't hear you. I'm like, well, heck, man, you just said I was loud. So what you want? Want me to be loud? You want me to be like quiet? So like, so he had like, more like that, like type of outgoing personality, whereas Malcolm was more like the low key, straight lace. He was very like well spoken and stuff. He was kind of like a ladies' man. He had like this smoothness to him and everything. And so like normally those two type of personalities clash in like society, especially with black people and stuff. It's like one clowns on the other and both make fun of like the other and stuff. And so, but then you had other characters where you had Tim, who was this large, overweight man, and he looks like he'll be like this huge brute, but he was actually like extremely educated and well spoken, wore glasses, read books, like very polite and everything. And then you had like say Holly. Well, I'm just going by the pilot because it's been a long time since I watched this. Because like I said before, it is not on streaming. I was able to find this on YouTube. Where there's a way, there's always a YouTube. Until the YouTube police comes in and takes it down. And so like, Holly, she had more of kind of like she was kind of like she had a little sass to her, a little bluntness, but for the most part, like she wasn't like the loud, crazy, like like you've seen those type like ghetto ratchety type girl and stuff. I'm like like you ain't like one of those type, kind of like from the Martin show and stuff. Oh man, I miss Martin. But the thing about Eddie is the dude always reminded me a Sammy Davis Jr. Like he always looked like him. He always sounded like him. Sometimes he would try to talk like him. Like he reminded me of Sammy, reminded me a little bit of Richard Pryor, and reminded me a little bit of Martin Lawrence and stuff. So he had like those combinations going on. And since Eddie was a stand-up comedian, he got to use a lot of his material in the show. So at times, like you'll be seeing him like be like all slapsticky and like he's on like at a comedy hall and just like on a mic, like sometimes he'll have like that type of like stance and vibe and stuff. And so like um back with the whole UPN thing. So since this show is one of the shows that put UPN on the map along with Mauricia, and because like remember how I said like they after a while they ditched all like their white like program and started going like predominantly black. Well, the UPN and WB were both two struggling networks, so they combined to become the CW. And the last two black shows that they had was like Everybody Hates Chris and America's Top Model. Now, America's Top Model is only considered black only because of the host Tyra Banks. But then once that got canceled, it took almost a decade, 9 years, for them to create another predominantly black show, which was All American, and then Black Lightning right after that. And so it took that long because they reverted back to the WB's way of being just like, predominantly white series. And so it makes you wonder what's going to happen in the future because, the CW is struggling to like make money and they're about to sell their company. So there's no telling what the shows are going to look like now. And so, like, yeah, Malcolm and Eddie was one of those pioneer type shows in Black history that some people tend to forget about every now once in a while, but it is one of the most hilarious shows ever. Like, we're just rewatching this pilot. Within just the first couple of minutes, I was like laughing and stuff. So basically, it's like this: the first episode. Um, It starts off Eddie. He's a mechanic and he's fixing on his pickup truck. He runs like his own like pickup truck like repair company and stuff. And Malcolm, he comes in because Eddie's supposed to fix on his car. And so like Malcolm opens the door, hits his car door, and is all like, "Oh man, you dented up my car and it ain't been fixed yet," and all this other stuff. So then Eddie gets like a call on like the intercom and stuff. And so this is when the hilarious parts start. You know how like you hear people on the intercom and they always sound kind of like weird? Well, he answered them and he just started talking in gibberish. And Malcolm's all like, "How are they supposed to understand you?" He's like, "They're not." He's all like, "I'm supposed to confuse them so that I can be the first one on the scene and then other people won't and stuff." So basically, they live in Kansas City and they live in a pretty somewhat run down apartment. Like it's not the nicest like apartment. They try to make ends meet, you know what I'm saying? And so Malcolm, he has never shown Eddie his job, never really told him exactly what he does. He just says he works for a radio company. And so he's not even a disc jockey. He's mostly just like an assistant who like puts the tapes up and tells the person when you're cued to go on, oh, you have a call, something like that. You know what I'm saying? And so Eddie tracks him down and he's a little upset. He's just kind of like, how did you find me? And he's all like, man, I've been wanting to see your job for a long time. And he's like, there's about like 35 radio stations in like the city, and 34 of them haven't even heard of you. So he assumes that Malcolm's this big like radio disc jockey and stuff like that, because the one who the rooster dude who is the disc jockey, he went to the restroom. And so Malcolm, he pretty much told Malcolm when this song is over, just hit that button and stuff. But then the phone rings and Malcolm has to do something else. So Malcolm's pretending like he's working there at the desk. And Eddie is very supportive of him. He's like, man, you so great at your job and everything. And like that's the one cool thing about him and like those two. They always support each other. Even though Malcolm kind of puts him down a little bit, Eddie always has his back, no matter what. And always trying to like help his help Malcolm out. And that what makes them such great friends, you know? And then so like when they get home, Malcolm, he wants to start like doing the play-by-play of sports. So he wants to practice on a little tape recorder. And so he's watching TV. Eddie is one of those type of people, kind of like Tim Allen, the tool man. When he touches something with the tools, he messes things up. Eddie is very much like that. So Eddie's trying to fix the TV as Malcolm is like watching, trying to like learn how to do his craft. Because he wants to like get like ahead of where he's at instead of just being like an assistant. So this is back in the boob tube TV days. Eddie goes back there with a screwdriver. Sparks are a flying. So they have to go down to the bar. And the bar is like, cause they live, cause this is what the apartment's like. The bar is down below and all the apartments are above it. You gotta give it up to people who live in the city. They will find any place to put like a home. And so like, the bar is run by a woman named Kelly. It's called Kelly's. This is where we meet Holly and everything. Malcolm's trying to be like the little ladies' man to her, but she ain't buying it. She's all like, dude, you too much of a player and everything. And he's working his magic on her hard, but it's just not working. He's just striking out like left and right. And so Kelly only lasted for one season. And like, so she's there. And she owns the place, and she's kind of like, I'm surprised this place wasn't like filmed in New York instead of Kansas City. Not sure why Kansas City, but it had more of a New York vibe to it, especially with Kelly's attitude. And so she knew since the power went out, it had to have been Eddie and stuff. But, you know, they all like, you know, can we watch the TV there? And she's all like, can't. Because Tim doesn't like for the TV to be on when he's studying. They don't know what Tim looks like yet. He only left his book and glasses. So Eddie decides, hey, he's gonna put on his glasses and just starts making fun of the dude. And as they're like looking at his book, which is kind of like this really like really old school novel and stuff like that. So then they start making fun of him as he come up behind him. Tim is a giant man, a huge man, about 400, 500 pounds and everything. And he is standing directly behind him as Eddie's making fun of him, turns around. Eddie is like petrified. He's this big, grumpy man. And then so you expect him to be this big, grumpy man, but as soon as he starts talking, he talks like he should be like at Harvard or something like that. So it takes them both by surprise by the way he sounds and stuff. And so every time so Malcolm like, well, can I like turn on the TV? I really need it like really bad. And he's all like, nope. And this course causes Eddie to get pissy. Eddie wants to swing on this dude, but he knows he can't because he can never match up. So what does Eddie do? He clowns on the man. He verbally swings on the man. I will still never forget this one line. Whenever I think of Tim, I will never forget the line Eddie talking about something about I forgot how it goes, but something about the pack of hot dogs on the back of his neck, because his neck has like those wrinkles and this stuff. I will never forget. Till this day, I still remember him talking about hot dogs in the back of somebody's bed. But Tim doesn't hurt him. Tim just looks and just growls all the time at him and stuff. So before the power went out in the TV, Malcolm and Eddie saw like this one type of dude who does like them seminars, right? And Eddie wants to go thinking they could become rich, and also you get like a free TV, some free steak knives, and this and that. Malcolm's all like, it ain't nothing but a scam. Well, because they ain't got no TV, and they know they can get a free one just by going to the seminar, Eddie keeps trying to convince them. Malcolm finally caves. When they go there, it's exactly how Malcolm said. It's just a dude trying to swindle them. They don't get the free TV. They don't get the free steak knife. The dude is trying to sell books to them and have them pay like money fees. As they're about to leave, two extremely hot model looking women come in. Who catches the guy's attention? Malcolm, being the ladies' man that he is, decides he's just gonna go talk to one. Eddie's all like, look, man, my friend was right. You trying to like scam us and everything. But he's all like, look, just give us our free TV and we'll be on our way. And the man's like, oh, no, you don't get the free TV and this and that. You have to stay for the full seminar. He's all like, look, man, you lied to us talking about we're going to get this and we're going to get that. And we ain't got nothing. So, and then all the people listening start to like cheer on Eddie. This old little white lady was hilarious. She stands up. She's like, you right, dog. I'm just like, oh my God. You don't see comedy like this no more. Like, you really don't when it comes to this show. Comedy is so watered down now. It's not even like funny edgy no more. Like, you can be edgy, but as long as it's funny. See, the problem with comedy now, it has nothing to do with offending people. It has nothing to do with wokeness, as like so many angry white dudes want to scream about on like YouTube and stuff. It's just stuff isn't written funny no more. Like, they're written by comedians, but comedians who are just like new, and because everything's changed. Music changed, TV changed, movie changes, fashion changes, comedy changes. And now it's just changed to more like blase type stuff. The days of like Fresh Prince, Martin, Friends, Malcolm and Eddie, those days of comedy are just like over, you know? And so like, even stuff on Cartoon Network seems, not Cartoon Network, Comedy Central seems different. And so Eddie pretty much, he gets up on the podium and he's just like talking about like, you know, we work hard, we do this and we want to do stuff like that. So everybody's like cheering them on. And so it ends with them actually getting their free TV. Like the stuff Eddie was saying worked and everything. So Malcolm's trying to like learn his craft and do the play-by-play, but he's getting the players mixed up. Why? Because the TV they got for free is not no regular size TV. It's one of those small, like radio antenna looking TVs. And Malcolm has to get binoculars and see what's going on in the TV screen and stuff. Oh man, this show took me back to like a really good place. Like when TV was fun, when TV was awesome, when TV was funny, you know. And TV just sucks nowadays. See, everybody wants to come like it's weird. Like all these like angry little white dudes on like YouTube and the internet and every place else are like, we getting replaced and everything, and everything's woke and everything. That's not what's killing TV, movies, and everything else. It has nothing to do with wokeness. It has nothing to do with like black people getting more roles, people of color getting more roles, women getting more roles, LGBT getting more roles. The problem is that nobody knows how to write anymore. Nobody knows how to act anymore. Nobody knows how to direct anymore. It's like, and that's the problem with like TV and stuff, and then everything else gets blamed for it and stuff, and that has nothing to do with it, you know. It's just people don't know what they're doing no more. That's the only reason why so much stuff sucks nowadays. Happy Black History Month, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.